Are you interested in real estate investing but not quite sure where to get started? Do you want to get the know-how on creating ongoing passive income using the buy and hold strategy? Hi, I'm Janice Bowles, licensed realtor, co-founder of B Premier Ventures, a real estate development and consulting firm where we buy and beautify, renovate it, resell for profit. Over 15 years of investing, B Premier has extensive knowledge in rural land development, fix and flips, and acquisitions. B Premier's current portfolio consists of properties and our services includes investor project consulting, project management, and group coaching. For more information, visit our website at bpreventures.com and schedule a complimentary discovery session or subscribe to our email list. It's free. Follow me on Instagram at Janice Bowles for additional real estate investing tips. B Premier Ventures, we buy and beautify.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Let's Do It Talk Show. You're in for a treat today. You're in for a treat. It's your girl, Ladrine Howard Peterson, the CEO and founder of Do It, delivering on ideas and thoughts. And you know what I do in a nutshell, right? I help to turn dreamers into doers. And I do it from two aspects. I do it from the aspect of career development, resume writing, interview preparation. You're looking to change jobs? I'm your girl. Then I also do it from the aspect of business. If you are looking to start a business, you need someone to assist with a business plan, a marketing strategy, or you don't know where to start. I help with businesses from the ground up. So you're looking to start something, you're looking to grow, I am your girl. Here at the Let's Do It Talk Show, we were primarily created for entrepreneurs. However, we know and you know that the entrepreneur is more than just business. We talk about faith, we talk about finances, we talk about the future, your career, as well as starting a business. And then we also talk about family and relationships. Tonight, we are going in and we are talking about relationships. Yeah, relationships. So the topic of the show tonight is what is exactly an entanglement? So we all know the whole situation with Will and Jada describing her incident with August as an entanglement. So we're going to go in a little bit further about that, but you know what I do before we jump into the show, talk about my weekend. So first of all, I had very limited pictures because I had a crazy week. But one of the things that I did was I met my 50-mile mark for the Girl Track. So those of you who don't know, Girl Track is a program where it is for African American women who come together. And one of the things that we're doing right now for the month of July, and specifically, I am falling under Minister Sonia, who was a co-host for the show. She started a group, a local group, and I tagged in with their group. So basically, I hit my 50-mile mark prior to, but last week was so crazy for me that I don't even want to go back down that lane. Sending prayers out to all of my friends who are going through different things, and I don't want to call your name out, but been praying for you. And then basically, I had been in my mode of walking, but having to transition it up a little bit. That's pretty much what went down for my weekend. I didn't pull out any pictures because I was, other than showing the miles, because I'm so excited about the show. So today's topic, of course, as I mentioned, is what exactly is an entanglement. And our subtopics that we're going to go through, the red table talk, the green table talk, and also the black table talk. And then we're going to round out the conversations with our help me coach and talk about reasons why you might be single. right? Reasons why you might be single. So let me please introduce my contributing host who I love when she comes on the show. She comes all the way from New York City, and she is a powerhouse. So you all have seen her on our relationship show. So I'm so glad that she teamed up to be a regular recurring part. And tonight we are going to have some fun. So Coach Neek, can you introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are?
I am Coach Neek, but I'm really Shanika McCray. I'm the founder of the Help Me Club based in New York, and I bring singles together, believers. I coach you on how to basically navigate through today's dating patterns, and I am the co-host of the Let's Do It talk show. And I'm excited about tonight, because I really want to have this conversation. And it was something that was like, when I wake up and I think about things, I think that's God's prompting for me to discuss it. So I'm excited about tonight.
So am I. So we're going to kick it off and play around a little bit. Like, a lot of people know the situation that was going on. And the social media really puts pressure on relationships, and especially when you are famous. So it was almost like they had no other choice, although they did, but it was almost like they had no other choice but to come out and say something in terms of what's going on. Jada, very challenged and very put in front of the camera and put to the test, because she talks and brings people to the red table to openly discuss the issues and different things that they're going through. So Jada being Jada, and Jada having a platform that she has, decided to bring her situation that was at that time rumored to the table and have a discussion, an open discussion with her husband, Will. And I think in terms of describing and explaining what entanglement is, I think a video that was floating around might be the best way to describe it. Can we stop? Can we drop that video real quick?
With August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, August, an entanglement with August, entanglement with August, entanglement with August, an entanglement with August. I got into an entanglement with August, entanglement with August, with August, with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, with August, August, with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement with August, an entanglement, an entanglement, an entanglement with August.
Oh, it's still showing on the thing. Okay, so we are back. I didn't get my countdown, but yeah. So anyway, that video cranks, right? So I've been jamming to that video the whole time. Entanglement. But let's get down in deep, in the deep conversation. You ready for this, Neek?
Am I ready for it? Yeah, I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it. So, basically during the discussion, Will and Jada stated that this occurred when they broke up, right? broke up, and Will actually said, like, I was done with you. So it was a time where they were broke up, and Will was seeing somebody else, and Jada got entangled with August. So the funny thing is how it could have been kept under the rug. During his interview, he spoke out about it. But that's one of the things that I definitely want to go through when we touch topic in terms of the red table. Love. Like love. Love is a serious thing. Relationships are already trying and difficult versus having to go through something. So I could just imagine him, even though he is a celebrity, still dealing and seeing a bigger celebrity and facing that and actually being in love with them. And during his interview, a lot of people say that he did it to help with publicity, and then he made the song Entanglement, which everybody knows that it's about Jada, because the lyrics of it, how he goes into it. So the way that we're going to break this conversation down, we're going to break it down into 3 components. The red table, we're going to talk about love. And the green table, we're going to talk about money. And then the black table, we're going to talk about power. So let's get into the topic of the red table and love. And y'all tell me in the feed, what team are y'all? Are y'all team red, green, or black? Red, green, or black? Red for love, green for money, and black for power. So Neek, let's talk. Let's talk. So on the topic of love, people say that Will and Jada did this for various reasons, right? Everybody has their theory of why, how, and so on and so forth. So love, and mind you, we are speaking on our opinions because we don't know the facts. We don't know how they feel about each other. But Nick, let's go into dialogue and let's have this conversation. So we're going to talk about Will and Jada, and then we're going to talk about the topic overall. So in terms of Will and Jada, in terms of their relationship, the things they went through, and how, in our eyes, because we don't know what goes on behind the scene, do you feel like they stuck it out for love?
So, you let me talk and then I just go. I wish I was in a comfortable seat because, I would be sitting back with my legs crossed and I would just be ready to go. A few things. Do I think they did it for love? Do I think they did that red table talk for the love of the relationship?
Yeah.
Absolutely. First of all, I want to start off by saying this. I posted on my own personal account that so many people are unfamiliar with the term entanglement because it is a spiritual term. People were asking like, oh my God, what WTF is entanglement? And I'm like, first of all, that's been in the dictionary for a really long time.
Right.
All right. So the fact that you just heard it now ain't got nothing to do with Will and Jada. Step your vocabulary up. That's number 1. Number 2, the Bible is laced with verses that include the term entanglement. Like I'll read it for you right now. Proverbs 5:22.
Okay.
In the Holman Christian Standard Bible. A wicked man's iniquities entrap him. He is entangled in the ropes of his own sin. Okay? So that word entanglement, which I have used myself, when I don't want to be entangled with somebody I have no business being entangled with, is something that I use. And an entanglement is a knitting. It's a knot. And to me, it's a derivative of a soul tie. So a soul tie, as we know, could be godly and it could be ungodly.
Yep.
So just the mere fact that Will and Jada are married, we would assume that they're in a godly soul tie. So a soul tie is something, again, an entanglement, a healthy entanglement that keeps you together. Because God knew that when you meet your husband, depending on your age, and you meet your wife, baby gonna be bad. But there's gonna be mornings that you wake up and baby breath gonna stink.
Right.
Baby gonna be a little fatter. But you guys are knitted. You guys are knitted at the soul, which makes it harder to separate. So now they've opened themselves up to an entanglement, a spiritual soul tie.
Right.
Supposedly a healthy one with Will and Jada, but now they have a demonic entry point, right? Because now you're stepping outside of your marriage and you're allowing August in. So August is not free of catching a soul tie either. You see, he's clearly grasping on to something that is painful for him, because it was worth him coming out publicly, writing an entire song. So he got himself into something that he can't get himself out of,
right,
that wasn't designed for him.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, and I'm glad that you made that point. So while a lot of people say that he did it for a record or to hype sales or do whatever, I truly think that he was hurt. I truly think that that he was hurt. And as you talk about soul ties, and we have talked about that before when you were on the show, that is a very serious thing. And people play around with love, and I think that that's a dangerous thing when you're playing with it. You have to really, really, really know what you're doing. And when you're connected to somebody, regardless of how you intend for it to be at the beginning, your feelings are your feelings. And when it's two people that are involved and they're on different levels or have different ideas of the relationship, somebody's bound to be hurt. Somebody's bound to be hurt. And even when you're in a relationship in terms of that, you cannot just easily break it off like, all right, I'm in love today, I'm not in love tomorrow. And old school, old heads out there, Babyface song and Pebbles, love, make things happen. Like the lyrics of that song, seriously, like grabbed my attention like way back in the day. And when I tell you that every word of it is true, it talks about it doesn't matter if you're married with 2 kids and a good woman. It doesn't matter. And he's just like, it just don't mean anything. When you're in love with someone, it's very hard to break that. So soul ties, you have to be extremely careful about who you are connecting with. And Nick, I know you went to the Bible in terms of Proverbs, in terms of entanglement. They did flip it and put it into the Urban Dictionary to mean like a little bit more related to Jada's in their situation. But one of the things that you talked about were the lyrics. And by the way, online, Brittany says love, and then one interesting comment: why can't it be all three? It really could be all three of them. It could be for the love, for the money, and for the power. It could be. So we're gonna break it down and we're gonna see how things go. But I really do think that August did it because he was in love and he was really, really like broken heart. I know he had some medical and other issues that he had been going through from tragic in his life. But I really think that also, all of it combined together, that he truly was hurt. And then Will Smith, even in his situation, I think he was like really hurt in terms of how they're showing it. But I think that he loves Jada. I don't know to the intensity of it, and I'm not even trying to think in terms of in love, deeply in love, or however. I know like they have a family, and I know a lot of people, including myself, that stayed together and had a level of love, but not in love, like for the sake of their family. Their kids are older now, so I don't know, but who knows? But before we move to the money topic, I'm just going to read a couple of the lyrics from August's song. So basically, he has so many portions of the lyrics that lets everybody know that they're Jada. So I'll skip around and go. So he says the definition of entanglement It's when you're tangled in the sheets. Girl, I know that we don't call it a relationship, but you're still effing with me. Entanglements is when you tangled in them sheets. Entangled is when you're tangled in the sheets. Is when you're getting in too deep, tangled up with me. And then he goes on to say, shorty leaning on my shoulder, got her questioning my will power. Jaded by her beauty, but her reputation real solid. Morning down the hallway, I can tell you how I feel about it. Caught up in the matrix, and I doubt if I can get up out it. Living like there's no tomorrow, met your boy with open arms. Tell you all my darkest stories, promise that you won't depart. Keys to over 40 cars, left me with a broken heart. Still, I gotta get around. Favorite artist was Tupac. She goes on to say, he goes on to say all of these various things of what he did to her, and we know that it's talking about him and her. So I don't know in terms of writing, but I know that Will's ego and everything else has to be bruised from overall in general, but the words to this right here, whole different level of, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So anything else? I know we're going to talk about why you single at the end, but anything else about love before we move to the next topic of money? For Unique, anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now let's go to money. Let's go to money. Let's just kind of pull some figures and talk about it a little bit. So money. In 2020, Will Smith has an estimated net worth of $350 million. If the reports are to be believed, the actor has delivered 83 successful movies in his career, Men in Black and Hancock being the most prominent ones. 350 million. Okay? Then, as per a report published by a leading news daily in 2020, Jada Pinkett Smith has an estimated net worth of 20 million. Smith has worked in many films in her career, like Bad Moms, Magic Mike, XXL, my bad, excuse me, Angel, and Angel Has Fallen in Hawthorne. Recently, we cannot forget about Set It Off. Oh, dang, and then what she did and Set It Off too, never mind. Recently, Pinkett Smith made it to the news when she gifted an Uber driver a new car for delivering thousands of meals to hospital workers. So they're very generous. They have more money than they can do with. Jada on her own, 20 million, she's solid, so she doesn't have to stay in a relationship for marriage. I don't know whether they have a what type of agreement they have in terms of the money if they were to split or anything like that. But 20 million, she would be fine. So I don't think that she did it for the money. What are your thoughts, Neat?
No, this doesn't have anything to do with money. I think it's just two people living and feeling.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes once you get to a certain point, and age and in wisdom, it's not about money at all. So yeah, I don't think that's what it was.
Yeah, I don't think that it's about money, but unfortunately, I think that a lot of people do stay together because of money factors, and it's at all different levels, not just high-level rich people or wealthy people. And most of the time when they stay together, it's because they don't want to split their money or they're trying to prolong someone getting some money. But it also happens at the lower or even under middle range money, because some people say they stay together because they can't afford to live by themselves. And then you have people who are in the middle class who have become accustomed to a certain living, and they feel like they wouldn't be able to maintain that, keeping it on their own. So they engage in, stay in relationships for the money. And I personally know people who have been in that situation. No judgment on my end, but I I don't know. I don't know because it's also on the opposite end. People have stayed married longer than they really wanted to because they didn't want the possibility of paying alimony or anything. So I don't know. I don't know. I was going to be like, no, 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 no. But I don't know. And to each his own. We're not judging anyone at all. Everybody does different things for various reasons. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat. So let's go into the next topic, talking about power couples. Did they do it to maintain their power? And for me, I say no. I say no in terms of the power and the status that they have because although we know Hollywood and how they go, they get past a lot of different things, but this is sort of like a blemish on their relationship. But the thing is, if we think back for real, they talked about an open relationship prior. So I don't know all about that. So when you kind of like mix them up together, it's all like an entanglement. But from a power standpoint, Nick, what do you think? Do you think that what them coming to the red table and also like deciding to keep their relationship going, do you think it had anything to do with power?
Let me make sure I understand that question before I answer it.
Okay.
So them staying together would preserve their power?
I'm asking, that's what I'm asking you, is that what you think?
You know, Ladrine, I'm going to tell you, I don't think this has to do with money. I don't think it has to do with power. I think it has to do with human beings and human beings not feeling good. And when we you know when you don't feel good, you know when you're not happy. So I think just like any other person, a broke person, a middle class person, they were going after feelings. And Jada herself said it. I wanted to feel good, and I didn't even watch that that Red Table Talk. I watched a little bit of it, but I'm like so on my own business and trying to make my life stable and keep my love life together. Like I don't have the time to worry about what am I called? Jill and Jada, Will and Jada.
Right.
But the little bit that I did watch, I just was watching two people. I watched a man who was very emotional in front of millions of people and maybe hear some things for the first time about somebody he loved.
Yeah.
You know, and we deal with this stuff all the time, every day in our house. So
Right.
he had to do it in front of a lot of people. So no, it wasn't power, because if you think about it, that kind of takes a little bit of power away from Will. It's almost emasculating that his wife needed to be with a much, almost, I don't want to say a child, but a much younger male adult. So no, I'm gonna have to say no for the power.
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely don't think that it was power, and I don't think that it helped to do anything with the power. As a matter of fact, I think that it may have deflated it, even if temporarily, or even if it's from peers and social media in the judgmental aspect. Did you hear about the DM exchange that he had with 50 Cent?
The deep exchange?
The DM, the direct messaging exchange that he had with 50 Cent. So we're gonna put that up on the screen for a minute.
Okay.
So it was a DM, and we're gonna show it now. But Will and 50 Cent had an exchange.
Yeah.
50 Cent reached out to him and was like, "Man, are you okay?" And Will was like, yeah, I'm okay. As if he really thought that 50 was reaching out from a personal standpoint. So he like, "Yo, Will, you all right over there?" And Will like, "Yes, I'm cool. I appreciate your concern, my brother." 50 says, "But why she tell you that SHIT on the show for everybody to see?" Will says, "We broke up. So she did her thing, and she did her, and I did me." Then 50 says, "Then she said only she can give permission for somebody to blow her back out." So Will said, F you, 50. And then 50 was like, wait, what'd I do? And that was the end. So both of them have been going back and forth. 50 posted it, and so did Will. But it was like, now this is what you have to go through with your peers. So I know, like, he was bruised even more. And then in August's song, he talks about some of the things that he did to this man's wife. So I know it doesn't help with power, like, whatsoever. If anything, and again, it may be a temporary component of it, a small gesture of just going on right now, because we know how it goes with fads, but that did not contribute at all to the power of their relationship. And so for August, I don't necessarily think that it would necessarily hurt his career. Some people talked about it because he actually came out and after time had passed and put this information out there like that. But I don't know. I didn't check to see how his record was doing or anything. But normally when things are like a fad, people are going to buy it or listen to it because they just want to know what it says for one part. Not necessarily that they support him, but wanting to listen to it. And that all is a part of helping it go on. Brittany says, I haven't listened to the song because I thought it was disrespectful and for clout. So I definitely think that it was disrespectful. But on the other end of it, I think that he was truly hurt. Not making an excuse for him, not making an excuse. But I think that he was truly hurt. And he might have felt, in a sense, like betrayed. I'm not getting all into that, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. But Brittany, I feel you and I respect your opinion of what you're saying. And Brittany says, he was because he talks like her now. Brittany, who talks like her? Oh, yeah. Like, August talks like Jada now. So, yeah, so that's a whole big mess. And for it to be displayed out in public is the part that makes it, I feel for Will and Jada. And I feel for August. I feel for all of them because, unfortunately, things happen. And while these are stars and celebrities, so everybody is seeing it, everybody is memeing it, it's the talk of the everything, your kids got to go through all of this. This happens every day. It happens every day where people have entanglements. They may call them something different, but the same situation has happened on all different levels, whether it was somebody splitting up or rather the couple was still together and someone was having an affair on someone else. So it happens every day, doesn't make it right. I feel for all of them that are involved, but it was definitely a complex situation. And I mean, they just brought it to the red table, and rather people believe every aspect of what they said 100%, that's not for us to make that judgment call. They are grown, they are a couple, they are in a relationship, and however they choose to live their love life, open, close, entangle, however, that is totally up to them. Any thoughts, any more additional thoughts before we talk about reasons why you might be single?
You know, other than 50 is petty.
Right.
But I can't say this out loud. Oh, but I love a thug. I shouldn't say that I would date one, but I love a thug because he's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, but why you went on there and did that? You know, you all right? But what I do? Like 50, we know you petty. We know you mess with people. You could have stopped this one out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to laugh, but anytime you bring 50 into something, like I chuckle a little bit because he's just stupid.
Yeah, like why would you say that to that man? He's already bruised, and you gonna? That was a lie. I was like, when I read it, I was like, oh, like out loud. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, so that was a little crazy. So yeah. I feel for all of them. I feel for all of them. Relationships in itself are very challenging and very difficult. Even when you don't have an affair going on, there's always something that is that throws something into a relationship that people have to work through. So, and I know I'm speaking to the expert and the coach who match people up. So before we go into the topic of reasons why you might be single, from your aspect, and I know you can't indulge your client's information, but from the bulk of it, the average, do you ever, are most people, from what the information that they give you in the intake, are most people like truly looking for love? Or does anyone come to you with other things that they're looking for in a relationship or foundations of a relationship?
So, depending on how the recruitment comes about. So the majority of my clients come to me, and through marketing and things like that, we target very specific type of men and women. Mm-hmm. And in general, every in twinkling of the eye, I'll get someone who just wants something casual. But outside of that, I get people who are looking for like life partners. They want to do vacation with. They want to grow with them. They want to build with them. So it's out there. It's just where's the meeting point? And that's actually one of the things I'm going to talk about when we go over some of the reasons why I might be single. Okay. But yeah, there are truly people who desire relationships that are going to be fruitful, both men and women, because some months I'll have larger numbers of new men intaking, mm-hmm. and then other months the numbers are higher for women. So it's sometimes it's equal.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, to each his own. I'm Team Red. I'm Team Red. But I'll just be honest. Like, there are people. I mean, everyday people, not only celebrities, that stay in relationships for more than the reason of just love. Different family makeup, different standards, different desires, different upcoming, and bringing some of the things that they saw their grandmothers and great grandmothers, how they stayed in relationships, and even though grandfathers will have another family around the corner. And it's not just from grandfathers and grandmothers. It happened in my era of growing up, and it's still happening like today. So there are very complexities of relationships, and we dare not judge anybody in their situation from the outside looking in. We never know everything that's going on, just like when you see a good relationship. You don't know what's going on in people's lives, but I mean, one aspect, mind your business. Like, I think that's and I'm not saying it being funny, but that's their business. That's what they have to do. But one thing that I have to circle back on, and Brittany brought it up, and I forgot to bring that up, the whole aspect that August, the young man that Jada had the relationship with, was Jaden's friend, and introduced him through the family through that way. So I know Jaden is feeling a certain kind of way. Like, how would you feel if your mom or your dad, you introduced us to somebody? So thanks for bringing that up, Brittany. That definitely was an issue, and they're in the feeds asking if Jaden had come out and said anything. I haven't heard anything. And Brittany said, stay tuned. Might be a follow-up discussion at the red table. It just might be. And I appreciate how they are choosing to bring things on the red table, but otherwise it would be kind of like hypocritical if you didn't. So yeah. So Neek, let's talk about reasons why you might be single.
Okay.
So take it away. You lead. You tell me. I don't know.
Okay, I'm not gonna put on my readers. I'm like reaching for my glasses, but I'm not gonna wear my glasses today because I'm gonna be cute. I'm gonna bring my notes a little closer. So one of the first things is love. Love is a spirit. I'm gonna go over about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna go over 9 things really quickly.
Okay.
So love is a spirit, and if God hasn't worked in you in such a way that you are just love every day, and not talking about I love my family, I love my kids, I love my man. I mean, I remember when I first started going through my process, right? When I was going through the wine press, there are prayers that I prayed that I cannot remember to this day. But probably through some studying, things like that, I think it has formed me into the woman that I am right now in terms of love. I mean, I can meet a man, and I've done a lot of dating over the years. And one thing I noticed is that a man will tell me I love you relatively quickly.
Whew.
And even when I'm around even women, it's like there's something about your aura, right? When somebody wants to be around you. Now, I didn't have this aura a few years ago, but I realized that if I wanted certain things, I don't want to go into different categories because they overlap. But if I wanted to be a certain way, I had to love people in general, just because we are to love our brothers and sisters, and I didn't have that. So, love is a spirit that you carry with you. Some of us may not carry the spirit of love at this specific moment. The other thing is, if you have a relationship with God, and even if you don't have a relationship with God, I find that when we go through things, we call on God. So at some point, you must have asked God to get involved in your love life. And now you need to wait for him to do what you asked. Because again, there are prayers that I say sometimes, like, I used to say, I'm dating somebody, God, you know what? If he's not the one, show me what I need to know and, remove him. God is like, you ain't said nothing but a thing.
Right.
So I'm like, whoa, I don't necessarily want to pray that one anymore. But you're taking people that I was saying it because it sounds good, but you're taking people I really, really like. So now I kind of say something else, like to make it easier on myself, because we can ask God anything. And so long as we believe it and it's in his will, it can happen. So we don't have to go through painful situations to really get away from people. I'll start to ask for things like, God, erase my memory from that person. Wipe my memory clear of him. Or, like, I know I need to get away from him. Help me with this, making it a smooth transition. So, at some point, yes, you invited God into your love life, and now you need to wait on him to do what you asked him to do. The other thing is, your expectation is too whimsical, and it doesn't take into account the other person who will actually be involved. I wanted to say your expectation is too godly, but I didn't feel like being in the middle of controversy right now. But when I say it's too godly, it's like you have a period of singleness where you should be going over your non-negotiables and your standards. But you're so rigid with them that when the person finally arrives, you're still dealing with your standards and a stick figure instead of a human being that is in front of you. So you have to kind of learn to be a bit more flexible, a bit more understanding, and just knowing that you're not all-knowing. God is all-knowing. He knows what's best for you. And when are you going to start to trust in him? So sometimes don't drop your standards to come down and meet anybody, but be reasonable and relaxed while you're dating and have a good time. The other part is you're not postured, right? So we want a relationship. We think we're ready, but we haven't done the work. So we're not necessarily in a position to meet our purpose mate. And, God, God is great. God is good. I'm going to say that. So no matter how much you go out there and again, you've asked him for something, so he's going to give it to you now.
Right.
So no matter how hard you go out there, and especially if you want a hit, if you wanted a king's kid, you cannot just do what you want to do. He might give you the green light for a little while and you think you're good, but go a few miles up, you're going to hit that red light and you're going to be sorry that you didn't listen and you didn't get that okay in the first place.
Amen.
So take the time to get postured, and that it'll come to you. Another thing that annoys me sometimes when dealing with people who are Christian, particularly women. Nope, I'm not going to date. I'm just going to let God bring that person into my life.
Right.
Well, wait a minute. Are you going to go out? If somebody approaches you, are you going to talk to him? Or are you going to tell him that you're waiting on God? Like, I need to really understand that. There's such a thing as waiting on God and talking to God again, when the person comes, like, is this person cool or not? Because remember, people come from one of two places. When God wants to bless you, he sends you somebody. And
right.
When the enemy wants to come in, he sends you somebody too. So you need to be knowing, where did the person come from? And are you sending away your husband or your purpose mate because you're too whimsical? The other part is, I'm sorry, ladies, you don't listen. Okay? Men are very simple human beings. If a man tell you, I like good sex, that's what he meant. If he told you that he cheated on the last person he was with because it was no good sex, he's very clear about that.
Yeah.
Okay? If a man tells you, I don't like you coming to my house unannounced, well, baby, you need to know he don't like you coming to his house unannounced because he has things going on and you two just ain't there like that. So, listen to what a person says. Listen to what a man says they like and what they don't like. I hate to, like, a man will make a post and they'll say, this is what I want in a woman. And you'll get a whole bunch of women jump on the post. But wait a minute, you don't want that. This is what I think you need. And I'm like, girl, did you hear what he said?
Right.
You're not listening. So the other part is sometimes we have too much outside influence. And when I say that...
Say that again?
Too much outside influence. So instead of you relying on your relationship with God, you're relying on your relationship with Todd. You're relying on your relationship and your counsel from your girlfriend Tasha. Now, the truth is, you do have to have some natural wisdom. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you right now, anytime I've met a man and I'm like, God, is this okay to do? I will hear, it's not him. I will hear it clearly. But I will override it because in the natural, he's lining up. He's on the prayer team. And he just prayed over you. And, oh, my God, he's amazing. But I told you it's not him. So 5 months later, you're going to find out he's cheating on you because you didn't listen to me when I told you it was not him. So that leads into you have a lack of prayer life with God. There's nothing Ladrine can tell me that God can't tell me.
Right.
Or the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit is a straight snitch, okay? If I'm speaking to you and I ask you a question as my man, and because the Holy Spirit he's mind, body, and soul. So this is, I always know when something is off because I feel it in my core. I don't have any peace. So in addition to not having peace, you put all these things together through prayer. God is going to give you, he's going to give you wisdom. He's going to give you instruction. He's going to give you everything you need. He's going to give you that roadmap to get to who it is that he has for you. The last thing you need to know is that God has to give you the person. We are God's to give for us to have. So you need to desire God more than you desire the relationship or the person. So if you continue to desire the person in the relationship more than God, who is the source of what you're given,
come on,
you're out of order.
Hey.
So those are my reasons why you may still be single right now.
So everybody's on the feed is saying amen, amen, and amen. So you definitely, every time you come on, you step on my toes. So we're going to have to start having sidebar conversations first. But you hit upon so many different things, right? from when we went through the series of what men want, what women want, how we had different shows and talking about various things. I have been very open about, my desires, but of course, and I say that in all sincerity, the will of God. Whatever is the will of God, that's what I want. And it's so funny how you go through, and I hate these shows because I always end up like talking about business, but let's talk. So you end up going through a relationship, right? And you sizing them up according to your standards. And you have your non-negotiables, and then you have your others. But then you go through, and for whatever reason or whatever, you're like, nah, like that right there is not going to work for me. So, hey, God, that's how me and God talk. Hey, God, that was all right, but that right there, that's not going to work for me. Can you make them a little such and such, whether it be a characteristic or a feature or whatever it is? Then the next person comes along, he gives you that, right? What you asked for specifically, can you do this? But then the person doesn't have this other thing that the person has. And you're like, oh my goodness. So the moral of the story is nobody is perfect. Yeah, it may be somebody out there that fits all of the things that are on your list, but it's just so funny how you think one thing really bothers you and irritates you, then this person brings the opposite of that and you're attracted to that. And then they have a big no-no. So you're like, okay, God, so-and-so, I want, in addition to these things, can you give me a guy who is sensitive but a little thuggish? Y'all know I came from Southeast. I gotta keep that going. A little thuggish, but sensitive to my needs and understanding, and a listener and not afraid to show his emotions. God's like, yes, I got him. He's right here for you. Then you come, y'all engaging like, oh, this is cool. Then you're like, man, he is a little teeny bit too short. He's a little bit shorter than I normally like him. So it's just saying, like, all of these various things, nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. We're all perfect in God's sight. He made us how he wants us to be. But in alignment to your list, her list, his list, or her list, I find like some of those things can be very challenging. So for you in your Help Meet Club, you are a matchmaker. So this is what you do. So do you find that when people are asking for their list of things, and I don't know how you do it, whether they prioritize or say non-negotiables or what have you, and you're searching to finding, do you often find that perfect match, and meaning perfect meeting all of the criteria, or do you often find something that's close but making sure that the non-negotiables are not impacted?
Okay, so we only have two minutes. So you know that, well, it's almost 9:30. So one of the things that I learned in my process was that, first of all, I'm prophetic. So I'll say that to say that I use a lot of intuition. Yes, I absolutely go down your list of non-negotiables, but if you knew how to match yourself, you wouldn't need me. So what I also do is I'll give you what you want, and it could be completely off. But then I'm going to give you who looks good on paper, who looks good when you two are standing together, who based off of an interview and a screening shows that they have those qualities and characteristics that would be suitable for you two to walk together. And I'll ask that you guys maintain contact for a minimum of 14 days. Because sometimes we see people initially, and they might be attractive, but they may not be your type of attractive. So we disregard them really, really quickly.
Right.
So you have me in there.
Right.
I'm the overseer. Like, look, I don't know what y'all think y'all talking about, but I put a lot of work into this, and y'all gonna finish this match out, okay? And then, like, I'll even look at my own experience. I ended up being with somebody for 4 years that when I saw him, I didn't care about nothing he was talking about. I didn't like him. But look, we ended up being together for 4 years. So sometimes it's not instant. It takes a little bit, of communication, of seeing how this person loves and seeing how they give, and then you make the connection. So yeah, with online dating, which I am not online dating, it's very quick. It's for people who have high anxiety and low patience. If you work with me, you're gonna wait. It's a whole process. I'm gonna do your intake. We're gonna create a profile together. I'm gonna give you a match proposal. You have to accept the match proposal. So like you're gonna be prepared for what's coming to you.
Okay, so last question. So one of the responses was they questioned something about desiring the person more than God. Can you break down what you were saying about that?
So we're not to make idols, right? God is a jealous God. I know everyone has heard that before. So sometimes God will test you, and He doesn't withhold anything good.
Right.
But like even with Isaac and his son, remember he was supposed to sacrifice him. And sometimes you just need to show God that you are obedient and that I don't have to have that thing. I know that you and I will always have a relationship, irregardless of whoever's in my life. So long as I want you more than I want anything, even more than I want my kids, you have to show God that willingness. Because remember, anything you want too much, it's in the way of you and God. And He's like, hold on. If you're one of His, He's gonna step in here and He's gonna take away that. He might take away that thing you want.
Right. So it's desiring God more than the man. Yeah. So I think that was a mix-up. Yeah. It's desiring God more than you desire the man. Right. So all of your points that you hit were so like on target on so many different levels. So one of the things right now, and we talked about relationships during COVID-19, and we're going to close out, but you talked about relationships during COVID-19 and the differences of what people are experiencing now even from a godly standpoint. With the social distancing and the various things, if you're courting during that stage, you're less likely to see one another and less likely to be tempted to engage in premarital sex, or not as quickly as you would in a normal situation.
Right.
But those things, relationships, so many different dynamics around relationships. So one of the things that we're going to have to do, we're going to have a show where we specifically just dig down into the complexities of relationships. There are so many complexities with relationships, even going through like the different makeup of them, of people who are married, someone cheats, they break up, then they come back together. Do you really totally forgive them? How do you go on with your relationship? And I know each individual person, their feelings, their beliefs, and everything else makes a determination of how it goes. So can you do your closeout, any summary, and then tell everyone how they can connect with you. Then I'll come and talk about an event that I'm moderating tomorrow, and then we'll close out.
Yeah, I mean, just in COVID and anything else that's going on. I'm a firm believer in positioning yourself, getting yourself ready to receive whatever God has for you. Always listen to His voice when you make decisions. Make sure you have that peace when you move forward with anyone. He always gives us an exit strategy if we're not in His will or with the right person. So let's not believe that every man and every woman is not for healthy relationships and things that are long lasting. You just kind of sometimes not throw your pearls in front of swine and know when to let one thing go, because anytime I let something go, there's always been something to replace it. I would say within about a week later. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm glad you asked how to reach me. Right now, I currently have a multitude of single men that I need matches for. I don't think I've ever really delved in the complete process. It is actually completely free. There's no gimmicks. There's no obligation at the end where we're going to ask you for any money. If you submit your information and become a part of my database, I actually do pull some people for free. and work with you and match you. You'll sign a contract and all those other things. So I'll say I have single men and women in the DMV, Ohio, New York, and Atlanta that need pretty much immediate matches. So if you're interested, the ages vary. People in their 20s to their like 55 might be one of the highest right now. If you're interested, go to my website, the Help Me Club, go to find my match, fill that out. Someone will get back to you pretty quickly, and and we'll try to get you your match that way. I do coaching, whatever you have a need for. I probably have something for you, and that's the Help Me Club.
I love when you come on the show. I mean, we talk about love, but I love when you come on the show. Your points are always like realistic and for everyday people. Like we can understand and we can relate heavily to what you're saying. And then the really, really, really good thing that I like how you bring scripture into it. I like how you bring scripture into it because at the end of the day, all roads leads to God, and if it's not God's will, it's not going to work out for you, no matter what desires, how you feel, or what have you. So my prayer has definitely been keen on whatever is your will. Even like taking through whatever feelings or whatever has gone through, I want whatever is God's will for my life. So thank you, Neek. It's always a pleasure to have you. So tomorrow, I need you all to make sure that you're on Facebook following. I will be hosting and the moderator for a book launch, The Power of Perseverance. And we have the flyer. So Tamika Chapman and all the young ladies, they have very powerful stories. They talked about how they persevered over so many different situations. Their stories are amazing. I actually was on a Zoom call with them in the earlier part of the summer in May, I believe, where I helped them to actually kick off a discussion where they were still in the process. But now, tomorrow is the book launch. It is a free Zoom. Please look at the information on the flyer and I will circle back and place it in the feed, or just go to my website. My page. They have been tagging me on it. But when I tell you all in sincerity, powerful stories. I'm so looking forward to being in the setting with these ladies. If you are available tomorrow, please make sure that you sign up. And it's not only for ladies, although all of the co-authors are females. It's going to be a mighty good time. And then we have Dr. Huntley. If you've never heard her preach and pray, she is going to be leading us in prayer. And then we have Dr. Cheryl Wood, the international speaker, who is going to be giving a keynote. So it's going to be a wonderful time. So thanks to everybody who is online, and especially those who are chiming in. So thank you, Brittany, for all your comments and for your topic. We definitely will be hitting upon that. Thank you, Rhonda, for tuning in. I saw Major. I saw Andre, Veronica Holland. Hey, girl, we got to talk because you're supposed to be on the show as well. We got Miss Peggy. We have, I said Major. And definitely Mr. Ed from my good friend from the church, and thank you for his wife for the videos, and his granddaughter also came on, Edward Strain. And then Sandra Pixley, hello, how are you? And I only can see people who are actually my friends. So the other ones, I see the count. And Christine Brown, what's up, family? Always nice to see you chiming in. So, and Alonzo Gibbs, you as well, cannot leave you out. But thank you so much, you all, for turning in. And our co-host, contributing host, Stalker Jawea Fanning, also have a financial seminar coming up. So thank you all so much. You know where to find us on social media. All platforms, Let's Do It Talk Show. What table you sitting at? The red one, the green one, or the black one? Ow! Peace. I'll see y'all next week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye.